beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Dill, welcome in, my man. Welcome in, Raiders. How was the community draft? Did you win, sir? Did you win? I was lurking around a little bit earlier. I saw you win the opening game, I think, lost then to the Match Lab, and then I had to bail off. I hope you're doing well. Now, if you guys aren't following Dill, smash that lovely little heart that's appearing up in the top right-hand corner. And now, YouTube, welcome in as well. So for those that don't know, we've been doing a little save called The Committee a little bit earlier on, and we are now switching over to play with AC Milan. So YouTube, we've now joined back and linked up with you guys. Raiders, welcome on. We are now going to be doing some normal Football Manager. How about that? Welcome in, Fana Freaky Man. Just Island Boys. We try to make it, yeah, we're just Island Boys, and Dill tries to make... I imagine, Fana Freaky, that you have the Island Boy haircut, you've got the grills, you are constantly shirtless. Welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. So Dill fumbled harder than you fumbled your ladies. Bless him. Bless him. So, Falkirk, you're asking, do I have a non-Moneyball skin? No, I don't. It is now loaded and ready to go. It is literally just a change of colour scheme because we're now at AC Milan for the rest of this evening. It's the version that's red and gold. But the version that I use on stream is slightly different. Well, it's very different to the version that is available publicly, just because I build it around playing around with ideas. So we have a slightly different layout in terms of the player approach. It is available to Patrons, but it works at very limited resolutions because it's not a fully fleshed out idea. So welcome on in. Welcome on in. This is where we left off on Thursday evening. We are top of the league. It's our third season at Milan. We spent 4 years in Finland with IFK Mariehamn. We spent 4 years in Germany with SV Darmstadt. And now we are in our third season with AC Milan, where we have been always the bridesmaid, never the bride. We lost in the Champions League final in our first season. We have been runners-up in the league both seasons so far. And now we are only ahead of Inter Milan by virtue of beating them 4-2. That is the only game they've lost this season, whilst we lost to Juventus earlier on. On Thursday, though, we did finish off with a 1-0 defeat against Barcelona. Didn't we miss a penalty in this game? It seems to have not shown the missed penalty. That might be a mistake on my behalf there. The stats suggest that we probably deserve something out of it, but truth be told, Barcelona were much better than us and thoroughly deserved their win. So yeah, we're going to crack on with this. Our next game is against Napoli at home. For those that have been around before, you know we have a pretty torrid time with Napoli. Napoli just hate us. I don't know why. So the cult is closed for now. It is a cult. You're on to us, Falkirk. But as I remember, if you want to be part of the cult, the first rule of cult is don't say it's a cult. You see? So Moneyball, Fana. Moneyball. That's the important thing. That's where you wrap your testicles in banknotes. It's a really niche thing. I think that enjoyed quite often by people out in Dubai. It's just one of those things. Sassuolo reckons we're winning the effing league. We've won a league. Okay, granted it's with Jeff United, but we've won a league, and that's all that matters. So should ask. You're suggesting that Dill should ask Zerachol about losing leagues? I mean, yes. So for those that don't know, we have the glorious, the wonderful Zerachol, who's runs his own drafts the last couple of times, and both times Johnson has won it. So Dill is in very good company with hosts that aren't able to win their own leagues. Now, when you say that Dill fumbled, you said it's all true. What did you finish second again? Because I know that you finished second in the one that you did. Was it just a week ago? Or was it 2 weeks ago now? So is it another second place finish? Because you finished second in the. Did you finish second in the one that Rowan organised as well? I feel like this is a common theme. It's a common theme, perhaps. Not even top 3. Ah, right, okay, you can write it all off. That's clearly the luck modifier working against you. Serachal is a tech wizard at creating drafts. It only took 8 attempts last time. Oh my. Yeah, we did miss a penalty. Thank you for confirming, my dude. I thought so, GNG. Sir John, Sir, him and his Norwegian oil money. Never seen drafts more. John, Sir, you won, for crying out loud. Typical. Balls in $10 bills. Exactly. I mean, it depends how fancy you're feeling. I like to wrap the right ball in a $100 bill, but the left ball in a $1 bill, so I can feel that the balance between being rich and poor at the same time. What on earth am I talking about? Welcome in, cultured left foot. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. How are you doing, my man? Lovely to see you. How is the current excursion over to... Oh, did that not work? Have I spelt that wrong? Let's give that a try again. There we go. Beautiful stuff. How is the journey over... You're in the UK, aren't you, at the moment? You're on the correct time zone. Yeah, and if you guys aren't following Cultured Left Foot, give him a follow. Oh, he's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Often streams during the daytime for us Europeans, as he's based out in Singapore usually. Just a thoroughly nice chap. Absolutely worth checking out.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, backing the Blues. Thank you very much. Resub for that's 2 months you've been subscribed. It's very, very much appreciated. So Fana understood Venezuelan ball. Thought you were inflating player prices by 10,000%. I mean, and that's the approach is you hyperinflate them until they're completely and utterly worthless. And also you hyperinflate your actual balls, and that's another thing that's very popular out in Dubai, or so I hear. Dollar bills, ball. We're just talking about the money ball meaning. Absolutely. So your next week you're going to be in Germany. My word, a full-on European tour. How are you doing, backing the Blues? Lovely to have you in, my dude. So yeah. How long are you in and about? Now, earlier on, Blue Lions, I don't know if you're still about. I think you asked about the Community Shield today, and I think it got drowned out by a mini game. We need to play that mini game. I'm not going to talk about it. We need to play that mini game. I forgot, Mr. Grizzly P. I'm so sorry. Right, whilst we move forwards with this, we're going to play a mini game as was redeemed, and the mini game that we are going to play is a little round of top 10. So, for those that haven't been in before, don't worry, I will explain the rules. Nice and simple. You may be familiar with Tenable. It's basically just that. In a few moments, just underneath me here, you can see a gap that says criteria and then a blank space. I'm going to reveal a very specific criteria, and it's then your job to identify who the top 10 players are that meet that criteria. This means you need to spell the player's name right. My mind's just gone completely blank. Yeah, you need to spell the player's name right. Generally speaking, we are only looking for surnames. If 2 players on the list have the same surname, then we'd need to include first names as well. That isn't going to be relevant for tonight. If a player's name has an accent in it, you can include the accent, or you don't include the accent. It will pick it up both fine. Let's see. They just needed to do something in Berlin. So you used the trip to Berlin as a chance to pop to the UK. Okay, not a full-on tour. Fair enough. You've come back from the bedroom because I heard minigame time. Indeed, firstly, and it is minigame time, and I am just about to reveal the criteria. Today, we are looking for the most internationally capped Davids, or Davids, if you so will. So these are all players whose first name is David, and we are looking for the most internationally capped. It won't include. It is first name Davids, and all these names coming in means that I think I might need to say currently playing internationally capped Davids. I do apologise. So currently playing. They might not be in the most recent international squad, but they haven't retired yet. So I do apologise. So Hung Do-min does get first option on the board there. It is indeed David Alaba. David Villa, David Beckham, David Seaman, would have all been fantastic guesses, as would have been David James. I do apologise. Sadly, no Beckham, no Belly on either. David Silva apparently wasn't on the list. This was according to Transfer Market. So there we go. Grizzly P takes the top one there. We've got David Ospina ahead of David Alaba. I would say, in a grand scheme of things, 9 of these are definitely gettable. 9 of them are definitely gettable. 1 of them, I have no idea who that person is. There we go. Beautiful stuff. FMGNG picks up. It's David Luiz, a player that you don't think of as just their surname. It's not Manuel Neuer, but there is at least 1 more goalkeeper on this list. 1 more goalkeeper called David. In 4th space, we have a centre-back. And we have a couple of midfielders. We have a left back. We have a striker / winger in the list there. Could it be David Gower? Sadly, it's not David Gower. Mr. Echo comes in. It is indeed David De Gea. FMGNG picks up on Welsh legend David Brooks. David Raya, surprising. Actually, not that surprising, because Simon is ahead of him the majority of the time nowadays. David Coote, the referee, doesn't quite make the grade. David Marshall. He doesn't make it either, sadly. So what can I tell you about the person in the 4th spot? Would be a player that Ladislav Almasi fan quite likes. In 5th spot is a player that you're never going to get. In 8th place is a midfielder that I really like. In 9th place is a left back for, I'm guessing, Austria. It might actually be Germany. No, I think actually it's a German left back. And then in 10th spot we have a Czech. Let's have a look. Winger / no, we have 2 players from the same nation in 4th and 10th that Ladislav Almasi fan would be a big fan. So correctly, David Raum is in there. Beautiful stuff from Grizzly P. Some insistence on David James, David Unsworth, David Copperfield. That would be a fine sight. Could it be David Platt? Sadly not. David Neres is a fine guess, however. We have someone's picked up on David Hanko. Johnson, beautiful work. That is the first of our Slovakians. Could it be David Yarolim? It's not David Yarolim, but I do like that suggestion. Sadly, it's David as a first name, or David. There is 1 David, and he's a player that I quite like. A player that I've mentioned liking quite specifically in this save that we're doing with AC Milan, because he plays for our nemesis. And Trequinho, welcome in, my dude. Right in there with David Fratesi. Legend has got it indeed. So we are looking for, in 10th spot, a Slovakian striker / winger, and in 5th spot, a person I have never ever heard of. Where does a Beninese, a 31-year-old Beninese defender is in 5th place? I'm not expecting many people to get that one. What can I tell you about the... Oh, okay, Zerachul. I was going to look for more clues. Has correctly picked up on David Strelic. And then in 5th, it's a Drake song. Do you love me? Who do I want to know? Do they love me? That's all I'm asking. That's the answer you're looking for. It is indeed David Kiki. Dear Basis, I've always picked you out to be a huge Drake fan. Just ahead of Jay Summers there. Beautiful stuff. So David Kiki is a Beninese professional footballer who plays for FCSB, so the former Steaua Bucharest in Romania, and the Benin national team. A left-sided player, Kiki has played in both defence and midfield. Between 2012 and 2015, Kiki played in the Championnat de France amateur with Belfort. making 52 league appearances. He then joined League Two club Chamois Niortois. Fuck knows. He did sign for Brest at one point. He played 11 games for Brest. How about that? Yeah, that last one was going to be very, very tricky. Niort in English. The full name of the team is the bit that tripped me up. Steve Mounier is all that comes to mind in Benin. I mean, that's fair. I thought you were going to say Steve Mounier is all that comes to mind for David's. Could it be David Jiggler? I do like that name. David Elenikaner. So I hate that Drake gave me a clue. I hate that I was able to give a clue with Drake. If you asked me to tell you what the name of that Drake song was, not a clue. If I was to name another Drake song, I certainly wouldn't be able to name a Drake song by name. It's not really my area of music. Well, can I actually? I don't think I could name a single Drake song. I feel like even if it's not an area that I'm particularly well versed in, I should be able to name at least one, right? There we go. Probably not the worst thing is Quadmo could probably name a Francis Drake song, probably. Hotline Bling is all right. Don't at me. Is Hotline Bling the Kiki Do You Love Me one? That's the used to call me on a cell phone. Right, okay, yeah, that one I know. Is that the same one? I don't know. Sir Johnson, yeah, you had a cracking round. Cultured left foot, yes, you got 0, love it. It was a particularly tricky and ridiculous one because nobody really thinks of players by virtue of their first name. Like, if you ask me to name footballers called George, I'd probably forget that George Best existed, and I only remembered him for this particular moment because it was an answer to an earlier round. So Mr. Echo wants us to look up how Modena was holding up. Yeah, sure, we can do. Let's pop on. We did this actually. Was it? It was. I know it wasn't you who asked. It was someone else the other day, I'm sure. So Modena, currently managed by Luis Neto. Luis Neto has been there since 2031. That's his first management job. So as a starting point, they've only just been newly promoted. So the first 2 seasons whilst we were here, they were down in Serie B. They'd just been relegated the season beforehand. And it looks like that's been the case all the way through this save, actually. So they were promoted the very first season, relegated immediately, relegated down to Serie C, stayed there 1 season, and yeah, they've just been yo-yoing back and forth from the looks of things, Mr. Echo. It's early in the season, but do they have... Who's playing well? So Ricardo Brasci's got a positive, an above 7 rating. He scored 0.71 games per 90, but he's not starting many games, so he's coming on as a sub and making an impact. Okay, they've got Yakubishvili in goal. Yakubishvili, when we played them in the last stream, was actually pretty decent. He's conceding a little bit more than expected, but it's only by a little amount. It's only by a little amount there. Do they have any players that we would recognise? Ransford, Yeboah, Königsdorfer. He's been there for a few seasons now. Kind of as a bit part player, unfortunately. So you move from Hamburg to Monza to Modena. Are there any other player names that... Oh, Pinada. Pinada's now 31 years old. And keeping in mind that this photo was taken when he was like 22, he finally looks the age of his photo. And he's been pretty shit, to be honest. 66% tackle win rate's pretty poor. He's safe on the ball, which is something, kind of reasonably progressive, but not necessarily having a great impact. And he's been there for 3 seasons as well. Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to have a pretty tricky time of things this season. Jadon Philogene Badace is there. And he's not really doing anything much as a winger. Bless him. Bless him. Thank you for mentioning Lira, RJ. That reminds me to switch back to Euros. You are an absolute star. So Sherbs asks, has I played Doom Eternal? I played Doom Eternal for about an hour and then remembered why I don't play those kind of games anymore. I'm not good at shooting games or violence, unfortunately. So it's Hotline Bling. Well, hey, I knew a Drake song. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I mean, if we could use Lira, we would. Right, so into the game against Napoli, and we are going to return Osazua to the starting lineup. Nuama had a decent run last time out, so he's going to get the start there. What have we got midweek? We don't. So we've got Monday, then we've got a game on Saturday, so we can go full strength all the way through. Pizza Pasta, Albert Navarro, Atabodo. I think that's our full strength squad, and we were able to head on into that one. Oh, I didn't update the photos. The drawings. I've got most of the first team done now. Right, let's say it's no pressure is what we generally go with, and faith. Let's get our marking up. Are they going to be playing a back three again? They are indeed. So, with our marking here, we want to just pick up on Fowl and Mimbella. Fowl is on the left. So you can take Fowl. You can take Mimbella. You no longer have to mark anyone at all. I think we're going to play wider from the off because of how congested it will be in the middle. That's the hope. Let's see how we get on. Right from the start, we're going to have a highlight as well. So Napoli, responsible for possibly our worst spell in charge of a team in the entirety of the FM24 cycle. It lasted barely 3 months. Are they going to ruin our days once again with Brandon Soppy down the right hand side? Raskin gets across. That's a nice early challenge. Let them know that we're here. We aren't gonna make it easy for them. I hope at least. So DMB took over Cromwell's role earlier. He's been bantering all. He has indeed. Right, here's Soppy. Soppy down the right hand side. No effort from Arda. Oh, it's Ardagula, to be fair. I'm not expecting him to do much defensively. He's meant to be there more as a body than a player who'll do any defending. As Suchit sends it across, Satabola has to save. Here's Kirkish. Nuama gets across. I am already dropping down there. Let's fire up. That's another highlight coming down this right hand side. Esposito with the chance. That was closer to the corner flag for the goal, but I am not encouraged by these opening exchanges. So we've gone a little bit narrower. We've shouted at the players a little bit. We're not really gaining anything, so we're going to play our slightly more defensive formation here. Again, we need to make sure that these guys are doing the honours. So you're on Fowl, you're on Mimbela, you're there. Let's drop the tempo. Yeah, this isn't an encouraging start, but maybe from this free kick we can do something. It's very, very airy ball in from Ardagula, easily cleared by Mimbela. Albert Navarro, though, now just charging down that left-hand side, feeds it in. That's more like it.
And Milan have scored again. Yes, Milan, the score night and day. You can get away.
Boom, there we go. Osazua, he's finally getting into a little bit of rhythm. So it's Sunday and work is almost upon us. So, oh my word, Paolo Banato.
Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese, you got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, you got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
There we go, tactical mastermind. Just go a little bit more defensive and suddenly the game turns on its head with 2 shots on target and 2 goals. 3 shots on target, 3 goals.
Milan, it was an airy. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, it was an airy. They can't take that away from me.
Napoli have been done dirty. Absolutely disgraceful. We do not deserve this lead whatsoever. But, you know, FM has a tendency to FM people, so it's only right that every now and then we get a game a little bit like this. Although that does mean that we can't feel particularly safe or secure even with a 3-0 lead, because our performance hasn't necessarily been what anyone would call good. So Johnson says, first time in ages, your little Greek trio of Zagoritis, Duvikas and Ibrahimi all start together. Let's hope they can do the muster proud. Please tell me they've done me proud. Please tell me they've done me proud. DM basis, it's Sunday, which means tomorrow's Monday, and that's shite. Exactly. I can't argue against that, even if I don't have work for another 3 weeks. But still, just that Monday feeling is bad enough. We're going to be positive because the result is currently positive. But I think we are... Do we change anything? They haven't really had any... Since we've gone a bit more defensive, I don't think there's been a Napoli highlight. And I didn't see another shot on these stats. So realistically, in a game where we're 3-0 up and we just don't want to throw it away, I don't think we... Oh my word. Oh, bless you. Look, I get that there's not really any good options. You're passing it into a player who's marked. You can't reach Raskin there. You could play it out to Navarro, but that doesn't really do much. Sure, the options here aren't particularly good for Björn Rod. But that pass, just in between nobody and just out for throwing, 4-yard pass. Oh, bless you. Bless you, you poor soul. That was shit. So Johnson starting at 12, so a good evening of FMing ahead as Osazura looks to make it 4, and it tries again. It would have been nice for him to get a hat-trick. As Sydney scored, he's now up to 6 goals for the season. He's finally getting into a rhythm. So Serachal starts at 7. That's not quite as fun, but that does mean you get to finish earlier. I assume that Johnson's going to be on till quite late in the day as Ardagula stings the fingertips. Okay. Ironically, the beginning of the second half feels like it's been better than the spell where we went 3-0 up. Let me just see. I don't know why you're saying ahem. I don't know why you're saying ahem, Crobmo. I will only be able to check the phone intermittently. So at least he tried. Trying is all you can ask for, right? So Zagoritis got an assist. Ibrahimi and Duvikas have been quiet, but then again, it's been a very boring game. 1-1 at half-time with 2 set-piece goals. I mean, 1-1's not too bad. Not too bad as Esposito pulls one back. Boo! How many... Oh. Why is he running away but not taking the ball with him? What are all these people doing? Bjorn Rod can't pass it 4 yards. Esposito runs up to the ball after scoring because they're still down by 2 goals and then decides not to take it with him. Weird players. Ouch, I've just bit my tongue. I think I'm going mad. Here's Albert Navarro coming down the right hand. Actually, that really hurts. That really hurt. Oh, so they are.
Go for the fans, it's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
There's blood. How on earth did I manage to do that? I've managed to somehow, whilst talking, bite my tongue hard enough that it's false blood. But who cares? We're 4-1 up. Don't worry, it's a reply to the message when you're feeling free kind of thing. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, can Napoli from the corner pull one back? Their comeback didn't last a very long time, and they can't from there. We are going to bring off Osasuna. He now has his hat-trick. So on comes Antipasta. On comes Lucas Roman. On comes Green Curry. On comes Eamon Kari and Ricardo Rocha. We're just going to make a full 5 changes all at once with 15 minutes left. To be honest, you're pretty much here for the mini games and klaxon songs. That's all you need to be here for. Yes. So just need to press 9 3 times when I keel over. It's all good. I'm still not quite sure how I did that. I'm a special human being who quite clearly shouldn't be allowed to be in charge of anything like his own body. Because I can't look after that. Right, into the last 10 minutes. We're just pissing around with it round the back. That's absolutely fine. Surely now, 10 minutes remaining, 4-1 up. No danger at all. The only thing that would make it nice is if Pocho could squeeze that in, and he can't. It was pretty much straight at Terrian. Had to reach slightly to the side to get there. And to think with it, this game, we started off so badly. So badly. And then didn't necessarily deserve our lead. And in the second half, we've probably been better than we were, and it's 1-1. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. So yes, Blue Lions. 1-0 Villa. It's a friendly. We also played yesterday, which is weird. You asked earlier about the Community Shield and my thoughts on it. My thoughts aren't much. As per usual, I sit on the fence. It is still just a friendly competition at the beginning of the season. I'm delighted that Crystal Palace have won. It's always satisfying when a team wins when they're not expected to win. And they played really well, and the penalty shootout was rubbish. But, you know, if Liverpool won, I would have been saying that it's not really particularly important. It is just a friendly cup. And just because I'm happy that Palace have won, it doesn't change the fact that it's still a friendly cup, really. But lovely goal from Ekatike. Weird goal from Frimpong. I think that I still don't quite understand why there wasn't a penalty against McAllister for the handball. But what did you guys make it? Did you enjoy watching the game? Did you think it was a good entertainment? Do you guys put much significance to it? Do you think that, you know, maybe having come from the era when it was the Charity Shield, that you feel like it should be more of an event? Or, yeah, what are your thoughts? So you think the main thing is Liverpool lost, and that's always something to celebrate. I wouldn't have expected to hear anything different from you, Crobmo. But I think that's also why it's kind of clear that I should make a point of saying that it's not really important, because I would have been saying that if Liverpool had won, and people would think I'd be saying it because Liverpool won. And yeah, so the result of the game doesn't make any difference to it, unfortunately. So I'm guessing everyone liked Tyrone Mings' actions versus Marseille. Thomas Partey up. Seriously, Johnson. Seriously, like, obviously Partey hadn't signed for Villarreal when we arranged the friendly. But how on earth could Villa manage to somehow organise a weekend where they are playing against the lovely characters of Marseille, and then the very next day playing against the lovely characters of Villarreal? That is just crazy coincidence. We didn't win goal of the month. Boo. We didn't win best manager. Oh no, we did win. We won manager of the month. Yay. And a couple of players in team of the month. That's quite cool. Nothing particularly surprising. I suppose pizza pasta being in there is quite cool. Why have I just put them on rest again? That's not necessary. They've all been sent a weird WhatsApp message from me this morning saying, hey guys, don't worry about training. And then 2 minutes later got another one saying, sorry, I'm a stupid human being who bites his own tongue and has no idea what I'm talking about. So Crodmo was watching Leicester versus Sheffield Wednesday, so avoided the Community Shield. What was the result in that game? It's barely even a shield. That's a fair point. It wasn't an event when it was the Charity Shield. I wouldn't. So I would say as an event, it was still very much a friendly game, but I think there are a lot more people that it felt to me like there were more people that held it as having some significance. I wouldn't have said that like they hold it on par with, say, the League Cup or anything like that, but there certainly felt like there was more like excitement behind it. Non-fence sitting Musterman is a rare sight indeed. Exactly. Sir Johnson says it's a nice day out for Palace. Personally couldn't even be bothered to watch it. That's fair. I mean, I certainly put it on, but I was editing this afternoon, so it was also very much on in the background whilst I wasn't necessarily paying much attention. Barry Bannon making sure they have even less. Did Bannon get himself sent off? Bless him. Well, I assume that Bannon's, like, the new contract he signed probably says that he doesn't get paid until the takeover or something stupid like that, to help, because Bannon's the kind of person that I think would sign a contract that alleviates the financial pressure so that the other players can get paid, because he's now old and just grateful to still be playing. And they'd be taking advantage of him. So he's got every right to give himself weeks off. That's my my basis on it. So the fun thing about the Community Shield is that in 2002, indeed, they had to change the name because the Charities Commission investigated them and realised they don't donate enough money for it to count as a charity, so forced them to rename it to the Community Shield. So I think, now I say my information here might be wrong, so I do apologise if that's the case. My understanding was that essentially the issue that meant they couldn't call it a charity shield was that there wasn't enough traceability, and fund payments were too late. So they probably didn't pay enough to the they probably didn't pay out enough to the charities. But I think that it was on a technicality rather than a case of like they were stealing the money, right? It's still not good. It's a pretty shitty approach to things, and it should be both a shame to the FA that it happened, and a shame that they decided to rename it to the Community Shield rather than address the damn issues in the first place so they could continue being called the Charity Shield. Because I mean, you know, call me old-fashioned, but when someone tells me that I'm not doing enough for charity with my charity event, my first thought is, fuck, let's make sure I'm doing enough for my charity event. Rather than, shall we rename it? Do we just go with the same starting lineup? I think we do. You know, I think we just run with it there. The FA Community Fancy Serving Platter. That sounds better. That sounds better. Right, no pressure again. I have faith. I have faith. I have faith. Humphreys on the left. So Humphreys. Divine Gabriel. Good name, that. Very, very good name. Isn't he one of ours? Or was he one of ours? Or someone we were looking at? Maybe whilst we were in Darmstadt. The name is very, very familiar. He does look quite good. Valued at under 40 million euros. He's just moved to Sassuolo. I have a feeling he might have been a player we were looking at whilst we were at Darmstadt. I don't think we've been looking at him for AC Milan. Or it might have just been that he scored against us last season or something like that whilst he was on loan at Sassuolo. Right, here we go for the game. All right, so Johnson's got a 2-1 win, 92nd minute winner. Victor Bayos, Academy talent. 11th appearance and first goal. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Oh, you always say make your first goal a memorable one. Tomato. So in 2002, the Charity Commission ruled that the FA had failed to specify the amount of money that went to charities, and the name was changed as a result. So then basically, it's definitely come up before. That name is familiar. I mean, you don't forget a name like Divine Gabriel, right? I mean, that is a sensational name. Right, here's Humphreys. Feeds Pinamonti. Pinamonti's able to turn. Pizza Pasta cuts it out, though. Here's Ardagula. Is there going to be a goal straight from kickoff? Here we go with Alberto Navarro. He's just Albert Navarro. I've added an O for no apparent reason. That O is for that cross, because, oh my word, he's found Osazua. And Nuama might have been offside? Fuck off, ref. Fuck off, ref. There, you fucked off.
You are an ostrich, or your head must be in the sand.
Honestly,
Osazua.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Osazua finally coming good. He had a slow start to his career of AC Milan, but he seems to score in spells. Here's Nuama driving forwards. That's a ref penalty. That's a ref penalty. That's a penalty, ref. That's a penalty, ref. But instead now Sassuolo come away with it, but they've got space down the right hand side with Eden to Colomarti. He goes back to Fiaschini, but Ardagula picks it out. Bonato now, we can counter. Nuama, Carboni cuts it out. It just needed a little bit more power. Needed to get past his man, and Nuama would have been away. But we have another chance here, potentially. Bonato finds Goulet. Goulet forces a save out of Incambadio. It's a good, exciting game so far. End-to-end stuff. Ref penalty, exactly. Ref penalty. RJ's off to bed, no worries. Thank you very much for dropping by, my dude. I'll probably be messaging you tomorrow and see you for your birthday on Tuesday, maybe. It's the clearest penalty, it's the clearest ref you've ever seen. Clearest ref you've ever seen. Right, here we go. Humphreys to Carboni. Carboni forced to go backwards into Fila. Fila make trainers, right? Is that Fila? Because there's modelling. There's obviously Philo pastry. Was Philo the name of the modelling clay as well, or was that Fila modelling clay? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Fila makes trainers and pastry. I mean, yeah, it's not Fila. It's definitely Philo pastry, right? Is there a pastry company called Fila as well, potentially? We've had a couple of chances, but actually nothing much has happened really since then. So we're just going to try and fire these guys up before the second half. See if we can get a second goal. Bernie Arse can't get the header there, but he can get to the second ball. Now Gula back to Pasta. He can look to see everything in ahead of him, and he gets the ball back again. Here's Bonato now. Bonato drifting out wide. Can he get the ball into the box? He creates some space, but not enough. He passes it back to Bernie Arse. Here's Nuama. Nuama! It slams off the post. And I thought Navarro just touched it before it went off for a second, but he didn't. Okay. Apparently didn't hit the post. That very much looked like it hit the post to me. I don't know what a post looks like if that wasn't a post hit. So welcome in, Reece Davis. On a Moneyball save, what 2 stats would you look for in data? Struggling to figure it out or find it, lol. So Reece, there isn't an answer for you, I'm afraid. I know that sounds really frustrating, but everything changes depending on what you're looking at. So how do you want your team to play? If you want to be a possession-based team, a good metric to look at a lot would be possession lost, because that shows how good your players are at keeping hold of the ball. Someone that loses the ball a lot is careless. Someone that doesn't lose the ball a lot is very good at making smart decisions. Whereas if you're playing in a very transitional way, maybe you'd want to focus on things like high intensity sprints to see how regularly a player is getting up and down the pitch. But everything is going to be holistic. It's going to respond to what you want to do, and what your overall tactical approach is, what your individual instructions are as well. And that's what I do with the Moneyball series over on YouTube. Everything is based around that holistic approach. What is suitable for the players? What do I expect them to do? And we go through that process. What are they? What do I expect them to do? What shows the thing that I expect them to do? If I expect a player to take on their man, then I will expect them to have high dribbles accordingly. Right, Albert Navarro is playing well, but he's looking tired, so on comes HJ Bokkers. I am going to drop the tempo a little bit, just to see if we can get a bit more control, and then potentially look to be more expressive to try and get some more chances created accordingly. So Fimo makes the clay. That's the stuff, DM bassist. That's the stuff. Thank you. I'm glad that someone knew what I was talking about. Yeah, so as Kai says, it depends on the playstyle. Possession loss, possession won ratio is something he always looks for. So Reese, you're playing a 4-2-3-1 possession overload tactic with the sweeper keeper, and thanks for the response, dude. Appreciate it. So Reese, exactly what I've just said to you before that point. What do you expect your players to do? Answer the questions yourself. Don't need to so look at your right back, look at what role they're doing. You've already said that you want to focus on possession, so ask yourself, what is your player in right back expected to do? Are you expecting them to cross the ball a lot? If so, cross success rate. Are you expecting them to make progressive passes and so forth? Literally break it down one by one, and the answers will naturally come to you. Right, as I said, that's the change we wanted to make. Was we're going to, in the second half, move across to more expressive. See if we can get. I think we were up at about 58%. No, 54%. There. So HJ Bokkers now. He's going to send a low cross in. Del Prato cuts it out. Raskin can't get there. Gabriel does, but he gets to the second ball. Bernie asks back to Rod. Now Monterisi. He finds Pasta. He's going down the line. Is there going to be a 1-2? No, he can't quite squeeze the ball through. So a lot of play over on this right-hand side. Bonato, though, switches it to Raskin. Ardagula feeds Nuama. Nuama makes it 2-0. And no, he doesn't. It's the side netting. It said that half the ground thought that was in, and I'll include myself in that. I thought he'd scored. Right, Pizza Pasta's coming off. Donna Kebab is coming on. Bernie Arse is coming off. Ricardo Rocha's coming on. Ardagula is coming off. Lucas Roman is coming on. So 3 changes. What an awful game. 7 shots in total. But we're winning, so I can't complain about that. Play-Doh was OP. I mean, Play-Doh was wonderful. Play-Doh was absolutely wonderful. Brightly coloured clay-like candy, very chewy. Yeah. All right, so no, you had candy to eat. Yeah, I mean, surely everyone has eaten Play-Doh at some point in their life, though, right? Like that's a rite of passage as a kid to make that very, very, very bad decision. Right, last change is going to be Antipasta on for Nuama, and we're going to push Bonato out wide. Let's try that. It was indeed Haribo, Play-Doh, same thing. God most certainly knows that Zerachul has. Blue Lion says, I bet Blue Lions, I bet that you have eaten Play-Doh, like as a 2-year-old or something. You know, your parents won't even, it won't be like, it's not significant. It's not a thing that, you know, people will remind you about. It's just a thing that like young kids do. They get Play-Doh, they put it in their mouth. Their parents go, no, you shouldn't eat that. And then they tell you off, and then it never happens again. It's just like everything, children try to eat it at some point. DM Basis has gone quiet, so Crodmo has to bully Zerachul now. I mean, that's fair. That's as good a reason as any, right? And once again, it's just me. I mean, you are all in denial. Zerachul, they're tag teaming on you. I mean, some people call it a spit roast, but tag teaming also scans too. Right, Bonato with the corner. Osazu was the target. He gets the header, and that's over. DM Basis didn't even think he'd been bullying him. To be fair, yeah. I mean, I think you bullied him like once, and it was so clearly tongue in cheek. But then Zeratul acts the victim, and that kind of attracts more bullying, right? Not that I'm condoning such activities, but considering I started the stream by suggesting that if you do drugs, you shouldn't give up, because giving up is what actually causes the health problems. Don't trust anything that I say would probably be good advice. Yeah, a win's a win, but we need to be better. That was a pretty uninspiring game. Inter keep on winning, unfortunately, so we still haven't been able to pull out a gap there. Navarro's out for a couple of days. Pizza Pasta wants a rest. So let's get these guys rested. Next game is going to be against Real Sociedad, but Mr. Echo wants to have a look at Nesta Elfige. There is no Nesta Elfige. Sadly, I'm afraid it doesn't look like we have that player in the game. Now, I don't know if that's a case of he's in a league that we didn't have loaded up and he wasn't high enough reputation, or whether it's a case of he's a player that's retired quite a while ago. So do let me know if there's someone else you'd like to look up instead. In fact, yeah, all you did was say that you'd vote against him. There. Johnson says, maybe if you give me some of that Norwegian oil money, you'll back you. I mean, if Zeratul has that Norwegian oil money to give, I am also quite happy to. Actually, to be fair, I've timed out and kicked out Crudmo over Zeratul on a few occasions. So I reckon that Zeratul owes me quite a lot of Norwegian oil money already. So yeah, just calling in that favour anytime you'd like. Anytime you'd like. So Blue Lions, we would bully Crudmo, but he has special admin powers, so we bully Zeratul instead. Don't worry, Blue Lions, if you get in an argument with Crudmo, yes, Crudmo can ban you, but there's a very good chance that if he tries to, that I will then time him out. So it's all good. Right, how much does Benato? Benato wants to double his wages. Let's have a look here. 20 games, 9 goals, 5 assists. I really like Paolo Benato. He's been a player that we've used quite actively since we've taken over. And that first season, 18 goal contributions, 25 starts. Last season, not quite as good, 18 goal contributions and started many more games. This season, he's already on 14 in just 17 starts. He's not homegrown. He was signed from Inter. He's under contract for 3 more years. He is a good player. That would put him around, like Ricardo Rocha earns that, Arda Güler earns around that. Noah Atabulo, so it would put him amongst our top. We've done really, really well to get our wage bill down. There are loads and loads of players that are earning 350k, and we addressed that. He is a player that I kind of like. If he's fit, he starts. I think we probably end up offering him that. Welcome in, CJ. I'm doing very, very well. How are you, sir? How was work? Hopefully you now have a nice evening ahead to relax and chill and kick back and play some FM. So Mr. Echo is playing in League 2 of France. Let's have a look at how Mamardashvili is doing. A whole load of letters didn't get picked up there, but he has picked up Mamardashvili, still at Valencia, age 33, still their starting goalkeeper, only conceded 11 goals in 21 games. Bang on, 0.52 goals conceded, 0.52 XG faced. So let's have a look there. He has been the starter every single season. And he's been it looks like he's been doing really, really good every single season as well. So we've got this season here where he conceded 1 goal more than the number of games he played. And we have this season here where he conceded 6 more goals from 28 starts there. And the very first season where we conceded 12 more. But then he's quite young there. Every other season he's conceded less than 1 goal per game, which, I mean, you can't really ask for more than that. And he's been around 20 clean sheets per season for so many seasons now. He has 112 caps for Georgia, 427 games for Valencia, and valued under 100 million potentially. And his contract is coming up at the end of the season. He's about to be added to a shortlist. Maybe we don't need to improve on Noah Atabolo, but like, he looks quite good. He looks quite good. So the only person who was ever regularly timed or kicked out is Quadmo. It's the person who keeps on breaking the rules, Quadmo. Exactly, Johnson. Exactly. The problem may just be Quadmo. None of us are real. We're all just characters in your dream. It's a very, very weird dream, Quadmo. It's a very, very weird dream where, because I would have thought that in your dream, you'd be the central character, right? And no more mystery mini games available. Effing boo. Don't worry, Johnson. There'll be some more bingo a little bit later. In fact, we do have an ad break coming up soon. We will then go and do a little round of bingo after that, I think. Let's see. Here's Legend of Valencia. Glad he moved to Liverpool in real life. I do worry that, like, a couple of seasons being back up to Alisson, like, I hope he gets another move out on loan so that he can carry on playing regular football. John Sir, Victor Baez with his 7 long shots just scored another belter from outside the box. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Crodmo is the rules, allegedly. Allegedly. That reminds me. We've had, what's his name? Where is Arse? Bernie Arse. Bernie Arse scored like 4 goals, all from the edge of the area. Does he have really good long shots? He doesn't. His long shots is 10 or less. We should definitely have looked up, because every single one of his goals has been a screamer from the edge of the box. But cool, right, okay. So we're about to pop onto a break. That'll be about 3 minutes whilst I go to the toilet, poison my lungs, etc. We'll come back. We will play a little bit of bingo, and then we will crack on with some AC Milan. I'll see you in 3 minutes. And we're back, and it's going to be another round of Global Bingo. So, if you guys haven't been here before when there's bingo, don't worry, I'm going to explain how it works. Over in the chat, you will now see a link that will take you to the lobby. Once I eventually click Start Game, every single player receives a unique bingo card with 16 squares. Those squares contain clubs, countries, awards and competitions and things like that. We then all receive the same list of 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to decide whether that player matches one of those squares on the screen, and if they do, you click on it. Once you click on a square, it's locked in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in there. If you don't think a player matches any criteria, you can let the 10 seconds run out or just skip. The goal is to try and get 16 squares all correct by the end of the game. And we have some absolutely fabulous players in our chat here. We have Zerachel, who got himself a bingo earlier on this evening. We have players that have been getting bingos the last few weeks at a regular canter. But don't let that put you off, because I'm an idiot. I haven't got bingo. I will be about midway down, as will there'll be a number of people. It's difficult, it's challenging, and it comes down a little bit to the luck of what you get as your bingo card. But nonetheless, it's good fun. Now I'm going to give it probably like another 90 seconds or so to give people a chance to sign on up, and I'm going to try and catch up a little bit on the chat there. So DM Basis does what Crodmo says. Everything has worked out fine for you. Fair enough. You are the evidence of the Crodmo method, or the Crodmo plan, as Crodmo calls it. So when are we getting a redeem Crodmo timeout? Do you know what? I was genuinely going to set one up. I was going to set one up that only Crodmo could redeem as well. But I wouldn't let him know what it did until he did it, and then he'd regret it. And then I completely forgot. So Crodmo was at the Everton game against Roma and their Legends game yesterday. So really good time, pretty amazing, great sight lines everywhere, superb crowd sound when it's full, lovely touches to Everton and Liverpool's history. Sounds marvellous, sounds rather good. Crodmo didn't use the contactless checkouts for the pints. I did see photo shared by Koza Bob of the very poorly poured pints as a result of them being fan poured. A lot of head. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everyone likes a bit of head every now and then, but maybe not quite that much. Johnson wonders what's going to stop people from spiking random drinks. Well, I think the element of you pouring it yourself means that you can kind of have a good idea of the of what's in the glass before you start. So perhaps more safe in that regard, maybe. Right, Mr. Grizzly P has finally named themselves Mr. Grizzly P once again. Yes, you are back and you are real. Right, I'm about to click start. So if you've got another browser window open, check on over there and you should start to see the countdown. Pepe6 was OP, he was indeed. We are going to miss him. Johnson's going to a Hanover game later this year. Brilliant gift for the 18th. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Right, let's see. Who've we got off the top? Duvan Zapata is a player I can play. I should probably pay a little bit more attention and actually focus on what the options are there before I just click immediately. But then Dan Petrescu wasn't going to be South American, so I haven't missed out in a great regard there. Do we have a spot for Victor Orban? I can't see an option for the bin, so that one we will let run out as well. Hey, Johnny McGinn. Super John McGinn. McGinney Esther. Zinagin McGidan. I don't know how that one will work. Talking such nonsense. I do apologise. Right, Mustafi, we're going to skip. There we go. How about that? We've got a little bit of Georgi Mamadashvili as well. The man of the moment, potentially. I'll let that skip through. Adrian Mutu, the second Romanian player on this list. He came from Parma. I can't remember where he went after things went sour with Chelsea. Did Rafael Marquez win 2 or more UCL titles with Barcelona? I think he'd left before Enrique was manager. Guillermo Ochoa. I don't think he matches any of those either. Javier Mascherano. Oh, Mascherano to win both. Like, one with Liverpool, possibly? Right, we can choose Madueke for Chelsea. They did win the Europa League, so that one can go. That's quite nice. Hey, okay. Gabriel as a skip. Stephen Nzonzi for Africa. Claudio Marchisio, I'm not confident on. Cloud Makaleli as a single-time Champions League winner with Chelsea. Maybe. Or with Real Madrid. It's quite plausible. JJ Okocha as a skip. Simon Mignolet. I'm not confident on those. Steve I loved Steve Malbronk. Oh, he was a fun player to watch. Absolutely a fun player to watch. Vitaly Mikalenko, we're going to skip on that one there. Matheus Nunes, surely played in the Premier League. Roy Mackay. Roy Mackay was Feyenoord? Right, I think. Mandzukic. Mario Mandzukic, is he Croatian? He's not Czech, so he was Croatian, I think. Sasha Bowie, I know he's at Bayern. I'm not sure where he was at before Bayern. And Kunku went from, was it Paris Saint-Germain to Leipzig to Chelsea? So we're going to let that one run through. Vincent Kompany. We're going to let that one go as well. Luis Openda, another Belgian. Another Belgian that I associate with Leipzig. I'm not sure where he was at before that. Seems to be a recurring theme here. Alexander Mitrovic. No. I'm not feeling confident with him either, nor with Gio Reyna. Was Eliaquim Mangala signed from Marseille? I feel like Mangala was at Marseille, but I'm also worried that I'm thinking of Oral Mangala. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think he matches any of those either. Sander Berger. Not that I know about. Steve Mandanda. I'm not sure. Antoine Griezmann. Played with Giroud for France. David Beckham has played for England. Andy Cole is Spanish and Chelsea. Diego Llorente. No on that one. Danny Olmo. Managed by Enrique. Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres is going to be a skip. Lucas Podolski is going to be a skip. As is Ever Banega. Lucas Ocampos. Now, he's at Sevilla. And in my head, I always get Sevilla and Monaco kind of mixed up because they both play in red and white. I know they're entirely different countries, but I don't know. There's just something about them that I like always consider them as kind of the same team. It makes no sense. I know it makes no sense. I also consider Valencia and Sevilla to be the same team, and that makes no sense. And Njai, he left Sheffield United for Marseille for Everton. Valbuena was Marseille as well. All these players coming through that I could have potentially have played on Marseille since I've played that one. That's what I get for not being careful. Dougherty was in the World Cup winning squad. I'm not sure if he's in the Euros winning squad. Gravenberch was at Ajax, wasn't he? David Villa to win the Euros with Spain. Ashley Cole, we skip. Luka Modric, we skip. George Best, we skip. Julian Alvarez, we skip. Sadio Mane, we skip. Pedro as well. Christian Romero. Right, Florent Malouda played for Monaco and Brahim Diaz played for Inter Milan, and we're going to say that with confidence. It's a bad round for me, but it's a very, very good round for Mr. Grizzly P, for Draw, for Blue Lions, and for CJ2906. Now, Blue Lions, you are joint first. Does that currently you are joint first? We don't have Zerachal's result in. Does that count to you as your first win, being joint? Because I think it should. I damn right think it should. So Rayner never played in the MLS? No, I don't think he did. Yeah, he came through. Was he at Man City? Because obviously he was born in England, I think whilst Claudio was at Man City, and then went through the Dortmund academy, I think. DM basis, that was all right. 2 guesses and running out of players. Not bad at all. So Blue Lions, that's the best you've ever done. Yay, it should count indeed. Absolute. Oh. Wow. I mean, congratulations, Zerachal. Bingo is really awesome. But I don't know if you can read this. That says Blue Lions first win. And Blue Lions was in joint first, and you've stolen that from him. You've looked him square in his eyes. You've said, Blue Lions, I specifically want to deny you. And I can't believe you are that heartless. I thought better of you.
Oh, fucking, do I not like that?
Exactly as Johnson says. Now we're definitely bullying Zerachal. I do apologise. So Rayner was born in Sunderland. Yeah, there we go. He was at the New York Academy, then the Dortmund Academy. Yeah, I thought he came through into senior football via the Dortmund Academy. He's found hacks, you're calling it. The controversy suggested. No, let's be serious. Well done to Zerachal. Fabulous work. Bingo is remarkably hard. That's sensational work. Although Passpo is suggesting a ban, the Blue Lions just says thanks, man. I mean, exactly. How can someone take 8 minutes playing bingo? I mean, it's fair, but also you only get 10 seconds per player. So if you were cheating, it's really quite difficult, right? Surely? Right, we need to make changes. Those changes are going to be Bockers. He's going to come in. Pizza Pasta needed a rest as well, so we're going to put Hisuki out there. We're going to bring in Eamon Kari to the starting lineup, and then up front, we're going to bring in Lucas Roman. And those will be the changes for the Champions League game, I think. Pardon me. So yeah, Bockers isn't quite match fit. He should be good enough, right? Should be good enough. So the last square was a Chelsea one, and I assume you had Chelsea as one of your options. That always nice when it works that. This is why we bully you. Johnson hasn't had bingo in ages. Can't go on like this, can I? I mean, I think I've had bingo. Ironically, I had bingo like maybe twice, maybe on the same day, but all on Zim's Muller's streams, not whilst I've been here on my own. That's what gave me the false confidence to choose it as a mini game, and it's been nothing but failure ever since for me. Right. No pressure, faith. I don't need to say it to the last lot there. Opposition here, they're playing a 4-4-2. So 4-4-2 means we will also go a little bit deeper. You don't need to mark. Which way round are they? Udrago is on the right, so you're going to be picked up by Kari. And that means you pick up who isn't Udrago. That was Samardzic and Udrago as their... as their midfield partnership seems rather aggressive. Right, let's do this. What is a stream without me taking my hat off for the Champions League theme, eh? So, Weecock, see as you've moved club in the save, have you used the tactic from the club you're moving from or started again? So, we very much stick to a style. We have changed formations throughout. We've played around with different shapes, but by and large, the general approach has stayed very much the same. A lot of the team instructions have stayed the same, with some tweaks here and there around the players that we've got available and around things that seem to have been working or not working, as the case may be, in Serie A. So still very much the same, very similar to what we were doing in IFK Mariehamn and at SV Darmstadt. The DM base has still never had a bingo. I mean, that's the problem, is I've had a bingo, but it's on someone else's stream, so does it really count? There's no proof, so I might as well have never had a bingo. I believe that it will be coming for us all at some point. I'm just waiting for the very specific set where everything is just exactly in my wheelhouse. We did bingo over on Zerachul's stream the other evening, and they did the Aston Villa bingo, and I still didn't even get that. I mean, so even when it is in my wheelhouse, I might not have a great chance, to be honest. Right, let's ease off tackles here. Let's ease off tackles here. 2 yellow cards. 2 yellow cards from 3 fouls. Come on, ref. 3 yellow cards from 4 fouls. I'm going to tell you to fire up, but also tell you to ease off tackles. Shocking refereeing. Shocking. Didn't basically answer what our Weecock form. Weecook for me. Sorry for calling you Weecock. Weecook. Hopefully that's deliberate. You're hoping for that. So you've got 2 minds about the Chelsea job. Fair enough. You're in 2029 now. They finished 7th in the season just finished. I mean, that's oh no. Broja, good save from Atabolo. Right at the end of the first half. That's Sociedad's first highlight. Can they muster something from the following corner though? Samardzic, outswinger. Udrago's the target, but Monterisi does his job. Cantero now. He's going to move it across to Koulibaly. To Pellegrino. Surely that's the end of the half. It is indeed. I think it's the best response I can give, really. Right, we are making changes because of yellow cards. Rocha on, and let's put Nuama out as a wide playmaker. Let's take ease off tackles off all of these guys that have just come on. And let's be more expressive. All right, keep going. You weren't bad. Keep going. Yeah, how do you feel about where your team currently is? I mean, do you feel like you've still got more to achieve there? Do you feel like there's scope to improve? Or do you feel like it's currently getting stagnant? Because if any of those answers are kind of like suggest that you might have reached the end of your tether with them, it's probably a good chance to explore something new within the save. It's 2-0 Villa. Well, hey. Welcome in, Batista. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you? And we have Sinister in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? How has your weekend been? And Blue Jobs is desperate for you to join. The Blue Lions is desperate for you to take the job. Here's a Drago. Feeds Cantero. That's surely got to be a goal, but it comes back off the post. Oh, that's a shocker. An absolute shocker. Let's tell these guys to focus in the beginning of the second half. I think we might actually change back to the standard one rather than more defensive one here, because Sociedad started the second half quite well. Cantero in behind again. He's not going to make the mistake a second time. That's 1-0 to Sociedad. Here we go then. Make those changes. You come off that job. Odrago, Samardzic. Is that the right way round? Odrago on the right, so actually it's the other way round. Odrago here. Samardzic here. This could be our 3rd defeat in the Champions League, and that would be quite a problem. that could be quite a problem indeed. Nothing good ever comes from taking the Chelsea job, says Zerachul. I mean, it's worked out pretty all right for Enzo Maresca, even though he's been absolutely hated by the fans for most of last season. Welcome in, Wilco. How are you, sir? How's your weekend been, my dude? Weecook says, always scope to improve, but thought about moving on as soon as you won the Libertadores. I mean, that's as good a reason as any. Like, do you not feel like if you were at Santos and the Chelsea job came your way, you would make that move in real life, right? Surely. That's gotta be calling out to you. Right, Galonja back to Rafa Marin, back to Kalonja, over the top. Cantero once again. Bjorn Rod. Right, okay. Drago to Javi, should be 2-0. Bjorn Rod, just pay it. Actually, I mean, it's Kari, isn't it? It's Kari's the problem. He's the one being told to mark Drago. So these changes are going to be, Mr. Duckle will come on, left-footed. Mark tighter, tackle harder, so that when a player moves on beyond his job there, mark tighter on Drago. And it's going to be Jens Kajuste. Now, Kajuste isn't match fit, but hopefully the fresh legs will be enough to get something out of this. Okay, Donna Kebab does well. Now, Lucas Roman finds Nuara. Bernatto now tries to feed Osazuwa. Osazuwa can't get there. Rafa Marin cuts it out nicely, but it's a bad, sloppy pass. Bernatto across to Nuama. Nuama, there we go.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Scoring goals, AC Milan.
Ernest Nuama, he's playing out of position. He's behind the striker, and I should really probably switch him out wide, but that doesn't matter. He gets the equaliser. We very, very much need. So Sinister, your weekend's been good. Hope yours has been fantastic. You spent 10 hours in Figma. I think I lack imagination. I mean, is that just one session all in a row, or did you break that up over the weekend? I mean, it's very, very easy to lose a lot of time in once you start playing around. Like, oh my, it's so easy to get into that. Did that not play? Right, let me get that. Right, let's pop here. Let's swap these guys round. That's probably more appropriate for their positions. Let's do that. Let's shout at you. I say a draw I'm fine with. I'm absolutely fine with. Why did it not play? Love it.
Honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
I would love it, but here's Broja, acres of space, Atabolo with the save. We are really, just defending that area. No one seems to want to do it. Galonja to take the corner. It's going to be an outswinger with that right foot of his. I say that like I know who on earth he is. Comes as far as Bercia. Bercia now. Can't beat his man. That's okay. Pocho goes to ground. Galonja comes away with it, but Pocho's there once again. Now, Osazuwa, cross to Rocha. Right, Nuama cuts inside immediately. He's driving, there's players over, but he's going alone. Nuama swears it to Sydney Osazuwa.
Milan have scored again. Yes, Milan, the score night and day. You can get away.
Sinister asking about the camera. Vertical scrolling in certain stadiums ends up putting you in the stands, which is really annoying because it blocks half of what you want to see. Right, Galonja sends the corner in. Rafa Marin's the target. Mr. Duckle gets it clear. There are 3.5 minutes plus injury time for Sociedad to get something back. Here's Yavi. Has to go back to Borza, but the ball over the top is cut out by Donna Kebab. It's a horrible touch. And Bercia with the equaliser. Oh, it's a horrible error. I think that might have been Rocha putting the ball straight into Bercia's path. Borza's ball over the top was ambitious. Kebab cuts out. It's Bernatto. Bernatto with the horrible touch, and Bercia clinical. A beautiful finish right in the top corner. Doner Kebab is a renamed player. So, yes, someone renamed him to Doner Kebab. John Sir, fuck off. How are you going to concede 2 out, 2 shots on target? A combined XG of just about 0.1. Oh, that is cruel. That is very, very cruel. Hey, Osazua to the tune of Macarena. Hey, Osazua. Hey. Who did we do that with? It was Elena Kana, wasn't it? We were doing that with Elena Kana. That's right. Right, I think 2-all's probably a fair result. We were pretty poor to start that game. That point doesn't make massive difference, but it means there's 3 points between us and not qualifying for the next round. We're only a little bit off the top 8. It feels like we've had a lot of difficult games. Actually, we've also played Nordsjælland. I feel like we should have at least one of the remaining 2. Feels like it should be an easy one, right? So we've got Hammarby and we've got Sassuolo. Okay, yeah. So we should expect to beat Hammarby. Sassuolo will be in and around us, but that is another home game. So 6 points from our remaining 2 Champions League games shouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility. And by the way, whilst we're on the break, I moved forward so that we could go straight into the game. I did offer Benato a contract, I think at 190k per week. So Zerachal says Bart is the worst goalkeeper in game. Who are we talking about? Sorry, Verbruggen? So, man, you hate City for taking Jose Mourinho from you. Not only did you lose a homegrown regen with a great name, but for whatever reason, Bart Verbruggen is like the worst keeper I've played with ever. That answers it. I don't rate Bart Verbruggen in real life either. I really don't understand. Like, he's not bad. He probably, maybe a lower Premier League, upper Championship level goalkeeper. But he seems to have people talking really highly about him, and I just don't get it. Yeah, that must be why you thought of it. I mean, that could be the thing. We could just have a theme of only signing strikers for AC Milan whose names can fit into the Macarena. I mean, it might limit our opportunities down the line, but how much longer are we going to be at Milan? Might be fine. Blue Lions doesn't rate Verbruggen or Herzler. Okay, fair enough. I think Fabian Herzler's okay. I'd say I feel like Herzler's bang on the right level for Brighton. He feels like a mid-table Premier League manager to me. Someone who will get the job done, will be absolutely fine, isn't going to be the greatest manager of all time. He's going to be one of those people that in 10 years' time you'll kind of forget about. And that's kind of okay, because you remember the good managers and you remember the really bad managers, and he just won't fit into either of those. Kai says he just plays in the Premier League because he looks like Wirtz. He's the playmaking goalkeeper. Exactly that. Zerachal, obviously Onana is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. I mean, Onana isn't even the best Onana in the Premier League. When's his contract up? Oh, he's loads of time. No worries about that at all. Navarro's wanted. Yeah. So we shouldn't offer him a new contract. I mean, to be fair, he's made a mistake. But it's not like that's been a recurring theme with him. So we're all right with that. Herzler gives you De Zerbi vibes. We will look very impressive somewhere, then fall out with everyone. I mean, have you seen the clip with what's his name? Kone, the Marseille one. What a prick De Zerbi is. What a prick he is. Amadou's not a bad goalkeeper. Exactly. It's like Maguire, the best striker in Man United. I mean, wouldn't that... I would love to... Maybe that would have to be the final FM24 series, is a Man United team with players all out of position. Can we win the league with Maguire as a striker? Can we sign Amadou Onana and play him in goal? And so forth. So DM Basis reckons Martin will get sacked, Herzler will get sacked, you'll hire Herzler, and Herzler will get sacked again. That is a bold prediction. I mean, Martin getting sacked isn't that bold. But you signing Herzler and then sacking, I assume in the same season as you would be suggesting. Is Herzler the new Hasenhüttl? See, I think Herzler's better than Hasenhüttl. But I never liked Hasenhüttl. I don't know. There's just something about him that I felt uncomfortable with. I don't know why. So Blue Lions ask, which manager to get sacked first? It's a great question. G&G asked, who's the most forgettable Premier League manager ever? I know them being forgettable makes it tough. It does indeed. That's also a great question. And that's the thing. This is it, isn't it? Because you can't just, like, Les Reed is like one of the obvious answers because it was so bad and so short, but you remember him for that reason. I feel like there's, like, Joe Kinnear was reasonably iconic, but oh, the French guy at Tottenham, the really good French guy at Tottenham who ended up not being that good and whose name I can't remember now. So Les Reed is a good shout there. Dave Merrington, I think, is a great shout. Ronald de Boer. See, I think Ronald de Boer because it was like you remember him. That's the problem, right? Rene Meulenstein. Glenn Roder's a great shout. Alan Kirbishley. I feel Alan Kirbishley was quite memorable. Like he did really, really good job. I think the same with Ipswich man. I can't remember names. at all. Ipswich man, George Burley. George Burley was a good manager. Jacques Santini, exactly. That French Tottenham guy, I mean, exactly that. It was indeed Jacques Santini that I was thinking of. Because, like, Santini came in with a really good reputation. And, like, at no point do you ever really think about him being Tottenham manager. One day Ramos could do a fair shout as well, to be fair. Tony Adams was quite forgettable. Alan Perrin. Martin Yole. Martin Yole's a good shout, G&G, because he was at Fulham for a decent length of time, at Tottenham for a decent length of time. But I have a feeling that people just... he does have a brother called Dick. That's quite memorable. Right, Pizza Pasta back in. Albert Navarro back in. Nicholas Raskin back in. Ernest Nuama back in. Benato will be punished for his errors. The green curry is going to get the start in the striker. No, Antipasta is going to get the start in the striker role. Aita Karanka, it's someone I have definitely forgotten about his very, very short spell. No pressure. I have faith. I have faith. Right, Ranocchia on the right. Ranocchia on the right needs to be watched by Raskin on the left. Quackman needs to be watched by Bernie Arse. And Mario Martin needs to drop back and be marked by Antipasta. Right, here we go. Let's get another win. Hopefully, Inter can drop some points at some point as well. Did Nigel Spackman ever make it into the Premiership as a manager? I don't think he did. Oh, Crudmo even says no. There we go. Santini is Spurs' only French manager. But I think it's a good argument for forgetting him by virtue of the fact that I couldn't remember his name. Who's that cunt who was a Spurs manager? Tim something. Ah, the glorious Mr. Sherwood. The glorious Mr. Sherwood. Rangers should hire Sean Dyche. I'd be behind that for sure. Andre Villas-Boas. I mean, he had a very underwhelming spell, didn't he? Tactics Tim and his Gile. Brilliant Villa manager though. Absolutely fabulous job that he did without getting us relegated. And Jason Tyndall, I mean, his very, very brief spell indeed. Egil Olsen for Wimbledon is a reasonable shout. Felix Magath is a great shout. See, Christian Gross is someone I always think of. And naturally, I always think of Dr. Joe, but Dr. Joe was before the Premier League as well. It's always worth mentioning. Oh, in fact, of course, Crodmo's there before on that one. Here's Arda Güler, beautiful stuff.
Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
There we go. What a free kick from Arda Güler. Raskin gives the ball away, chases down Quackman to force an error, and that wasn't a highlight. I don't know much about Gross at Schalke. Was it bad? Pepe Mel, lovely shout, that one there. Brian Kidd at Blackburn is a fair shout as well. Laurie Sanchez. I mean, I think Laurie Sanchez is a wonderful shout, because obviously he was memorable for his time with Northern Ireland, as Arda Güler makes it too.
Milan, ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, they can't take that away from me.
So Johnson's trying to think of a specific Watford manager, but you can't remember any except Roy. I mean, so they've had Javi Gracia, Claudio Ranieri. Who else have? I'm struggling. I should know, but there we go. Who cares? Because Milan makes it
It's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans. It's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
That one's for you, Mr. Grizzly P. So Gross at Schalke didn't know the names of his players. That is pretty bad. Crodmo mentions Walter Mazzari. There's a good Watford manager. Zola, Flores. Crazy to think that, like, just Watford. They've had so many, like, managers that you don't think that Watford could get, and they've all been a bit rubbish. Granted, none of them have been given time to establish themselves, but still, it absolutely boggles me, the list of managers they've managed to get through. By 3-0 up at half time, very much deserved. We're going to say happy things to them. Antipasta's picked up a yellow card, so we'll bring on Green Curry, and we will speak to Green Curry and say, I trust you, and go out there for the second half. So the press conferences were hilarious at Schalke, constantly mispronouncing, remembering names. Most iconically of all, Cham Bozdogan got turned into Can Erdogan. That's okay. Yeah, getting the name completely wrong is bad. Peter Taylor's spell in charge of Leicester. Yep, I've completely forgotten about that. Steve Cooper at Leicester was pretty forgettable. I mean, yeah, that's fair. They get a bonus copy of FM from Miles for signing on. I mean, the amount of free copies that Watford must have received over the years, crazy. I mean, that you say that's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, Nate, if you're going to get a Turkish name wrong, maybe swapping it for the name of the. Can we call Recep a dictator? I think we can. Yeah. I mean, that would be like calling Adi Hütter the other one. Right, is this going to stand? The flag stayed down, but the VAR have stood in our way. The letter sticking out of your arse is just the tip of the iceberg. See what he did there. Did Joey Barton manage in the Premier League? I don't think he did he? Slavisa Jokanovic is another Watford one indeed. A few forgettable stints in the Prem. Won the Thai League as manager of Wangthong United. Fair enough. I mean, I did not know that he ended up out in the Thai League. I know I recently found out that John Gregory won. That goal's going to stand. Monterisi with a thumping header, 4-0 up. That feels like we should be feeling reasonably safe now. So let's get some fitness in the legs of Rocha again and Navarro. Osazu is going to come off, and we're going to give Skamaka possibly his first minutes tonight. I don't think we've used him on the stream yet this evening. Slobodan Milosevic was a Premier Manager at about 1.0. That would be incredible. That would be incredible. But why not? If you don't remember the name of someone, just use the head of government, Muster Starmer. I mean, there are many insults in this world you could have chosen, and few are as bad as that. I am no kiddie starver. Right, here's HJ Bockers looking to make it 5, easily saved. So Robbie Keane has won both the Israeli and Hungarian top tiers so far. That's not bad. He was in the Thai league before Watford as well. That's quite cool. That's quite cool. Savo Milosevic hasn't managed in the Premiership, sadly not. As Monterisi gets another.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Storm goes AC Milan.
For many, many years of my childhood, people would call me Savo Milosevic because I was a fan of Villa, because I was really, really shit at football, and because I had one very thick eyebrow. And to be fair, it is probably quite flattering to be called that, but compared to what I really look like, so I'll take it. I will take it. Di Canio was a manager, though. I don't remember much about Di Canio's spell. Ian Branford, I'm not familiar with Ian Branford at all. Welcome in, by the way, Fafana UT. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? If you're playing FM, who are you playing with at the moment? Obviously, feel free to lurk. No obligation to chat if you don't want to. Right, can we get another goal from a corner? Here's Green Curry. He takes aim. It takes a horrible deflection. It's a sensational save from Fruchtel. Although, don't check his basement. We don't know what's there. Or do check his basement because we don't know what's down there. Talking about getting names wrong, that would be quite a bad one to get wrong. So you're really liking the route Keane is taking, not just expecting to do a Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney and getting an English job based on name alone. Indeed, absolutely. Do you think, though, that, say, a Lampard, a Gerrard, a Rooney would be better if they took a different route? Or, like, do you think they have the capacity to develop and learn as managers? Or have their progression over the last few years suggested that maybe if they took a more circuitous route, that they probably still would suck? To be fair, Lampard, I feel like Lampard has done a better job of learning from some of his mistakes. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that he's good. Let's bring on Hasuki for our last change. So you love the skin, mate, and you're playing with Strasbourg. Interesting. How are you finding it? They've got some fantastic players. Certainly at the start of the game, as Vitone pulls one back, 5-1. That's good. No clean sheet bonuses need to be paid out. Yeah, how are you finding it? There's some fantastic. I love Marvin Sanaya. He's been absolutely ace for me. Some great strikers, some great centre-backs there as well. So Branford was manager of Southampton at the start of the Premier League until 94. You said Do Canio, not Di Matteo. Oh, Di Matteo, that's... yes, Di Matteo's spell with Chelsea was quite something, wasn't it? Jan Seward? Both in Lamps and Gerrard went to the Prem too quickly. I agree. Jan Seward is a fantastic strap. Peter With was possibly the best manager the Thai national team had in the past 30 years. Of course he is. Of course he is, because you don't... There are some people that just ooze class, and Peter With is one of those people. You'd say Lampard is good. He's been very impressive at Coventry. See, I don't see it for Fana. I really don't. I know that the results last season were pretty decent with him there, obviously up until the playoffs, but it didn't feel... I don't know. It just didn't... He's got better. He's got better. But it felt like they had one plan and one plan only, and when it didn't work, they weren't able to adapt at all. I'm just not sold on him. So Wee Cook is looking to bring him in as a coach at Chelsea. Now that would be a nice move. Lampard's a pretty good bloke. He's good at connecting with players and clubs. I just don't see it with him as a manager, unfortunately. I would love to see him with someone alongside him that maybe is better at the tactical side. You know, either him as the assistant manager or him with a very, very good assistant manager alongside him. So Parspo, you say Lampard's okay. He's no Klopp, Wenger, Mourinho, but a solid manager for a side without many issues and much pressure. I think, as I said, I think he's improving. I think that I'm not going to call him good yet. I'm going to say that I think that Coventry are going to fall off quite a bit this season, and by that I mean like not necessarily relegation, but definitely bottom half of the table. And I think that might be around his level. I don't think that unless he shows more improvement, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Right, okay. We've got another break coming up. I just had to snooze the last set. We're going to pop into that break. It's going to be 3 minutes. Then we're going to come back and we're going to play the Sampdoria game. And then there's a 2-week winter break. So, Zeratul, I'm going to message you as well in that break to find out if you're booting something up. So we'll go on a break. We'll come back. We'll play the Sampdoria game, and then we'll do something thereafter. I will see you guys in about 3 minutes. And we're back. Just in time for Doner Kebab to get ill. I'm guessing it says cold, but it's probably going to be food poisoning. Surely it is. G&G, I agree completely. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like it was Robin's team. He didn't make, like, he found a way that worked okay with them, instilled a little bit of belief in the players, but I'm not sure that necessarily is enough to make him good. Sorry, Blue Lions. A welcome in nickname, by the way. Lovely to see you. How are you this evening? How's your weekend been, my dude? We are doing all right. We are still, actually, I haven't seen, have Inter dropped points in the last couple of games? Of course they haven't. Of course they haven't. We are somehow about to hit the midpoint in the season, having won all but one game and not have a gap between us and the team in second. And that is, of course, assuming that we beat bottom of the table Sampdoria. And everyone knows what it's like when you've got a game top against bottom. Oh, you know this is how this is going to go. Welcome in as well, by the way, Pon26535. Thank you very much for the follow. If you're comfortable jumping in chat, who are you playing with in FM at the moment? Obviously, feel free to lurk if you don't want to talk. So, dear and basis, Icons Bingo, of course. I think we will do a little bit of Icons Bingo. What we're going to do is we're going to pop on over into the Sampdoria game. Once we finish that, we're going to swing on over to a little bit of Icons Bingo, and then we're going to raid out. So, Blue Lions, did I win at Villa Bingo? I did win at Villa Bingo, to be fair. I think, was it a 14 out of 16? I might have been 15. I can't remember. But all I know is that it wasn't bingo, and I should be very, very disappointed with that. I swear every year at Milan, they've told us we've got an A-grade goalkeeper coming through, and never quite works out that way. But then there's plenty of time before that actually comes through. That information doesn't really mean anything much. Blue Lions also won the last one. It was a moral victory. Absolutely. Lampard built the team that Tuchel won the Champions League with. I mean, Lampard certainly was in control of the team before Tuchel won them. Wasn't that during the transfer embargo? Am I being... Was that the other time he was in charge? I know that he was put in a very, very tough situation with Chelsea. But yeah, I'm not convinced on him. I think we've discovered what Blue Lion's name is in real life. It might be Frank Lampard, indeed. I am sorry. I'm sorry, Frank. I think you're making progress, and you are clearly a much better manager than I am, because I'm just some weirdo that likes to play computer games at 40 years old. But I still don't rate you, my dude. I'm sorry. So nickname, the weekend was good. Aside from having to watch Heitinger coach Ajax start a new save with SV Austria Salzburg, trying to dethrone Red Bull Salzburg. That's a very, very noble choice of save for sure. I mean, was it not a good game? I did see people saying that it was a little bit turgid earlier on. Was it 2-0? I think you won 2-0 earlier on at home. Lampard is definitely one of the managers of all time. I think we can agree on that. We can indeed. Absolutely. He is without doubt a manager. Right, we're going to bring in Emiro Hisuki for the start. We're going to bring in Ricardo Rocha as well. And we're going to restore Paolo Benato to the starting lineup there. And let's see, this will be our last regular match of the stream. So, wouldn't it be appropriate for us to lose it away from home against the side bottom of the table? We will say no pressure. We will say I have faith. We will set up to mark. Cabral is on the right. Cabral on the right means that Raskin on the left will pick him up, and he already is picking him up, which means that Rocha should be picking up Konstantelios. He is. And Benato is picking up the other defensive midfielder. He most definitely is. I love it when I don't actually have to make changes. Beautiful stuff. Lampard was definitely a Premier League manager. He led the team that Tuchel won the Champions League with to 9th in the Prem. You know, there are worse falls from grace than from winning the Champions League down to 9th. So, not the worst manager. Frank Lampard has undoubtedly one of the best grades at GCSE Latin of any Premier League manager. He got an A-star. I mean, like, you don't need to qualify as out of any Premier League manager. He undoubtedly has one of the best grades at GCSE Latin of anyone ever, because you can't. People might have scored a higher amount, but it would have still been an A-star. So, you know, fair play to him. He came in during the transfer embargo, Hazard left, got top 4 with the kids, then the next season, boom, someone else won the UCL. Now at Coventry, they were battling at the bottom, then got into the playoffs. Would you like to mention any of his other jobs, Blue Lions? You certainly wouldn't put him in a conversation with Gerrard in terms of... Well, to be fair... I know that chat have been harsher, but that was literally the point I was making. I feel like Lampard has improved in a respect that Gerrard and Rooney haven't. So I agree with you on that one at least. But I wouldn't put him as good, as we have now conceded a penalty. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So it was against Telstar, promoted to the Eredivisie for the first time in 50 years. And they had more shots on goal and on target than you. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Welcome in, by the way, Niashman. Thank you very much for the follow. Right, here we go. Penalty. Going to be taken by our lovely little legend, Konstantelios. Oh, it's a really good penalty as well. Oh, look at that. Absolutely. Like, even if Atabola went the right way, there was no saving that whatsoever. Absolutely right in the top corner. That's why he is the boy wonder. Arda Güler looks to respond for us immediately. There isn't one. It's a good save. We are going to tell the players that they are idiots. Horrible start to the game. Osazu was the target. Can't get there. Ben Hemo heads it behind. Sampdoria having to withstand some pressure. Right, momentum has been very much in our favour, but it's not necessarily enough. So we're going to go a little bit more direct, rather than telling them to break out of the constraints. We'll see how that goes. If that doesn't, then we will look at be more expressive. 64% of possession means that we can get away with trying to be a little bit more creative in our approach, especially in the final third. Right, Navarro doesn't really have a place to go, so he has to go inside. Gets it back immediately, though. Sensibly on to Rod. Rocha now. He has space to pick out Bonato, and out wide is Ernest Nuama. Nuama feeds it back to Bonato. Raskin's there. Nico Raskin.
Milan have scored again. Yes, Milan, the score night and day. You can get away.
Boom, and Milan have scored again. Nico Raskin. It's been a while since he's been on the score sheet. He started off really well and been quiet since. But we needed that. Tony Ashman says, you need a random formation to rebuild a team around. Give me something to try out. I love Zeratrul's recommendation, a 3-5-2. Absolutely. And I want, I would suggest a flat 3 in the middle. So 3 centre backs, 2 wing backs, a flat 3 in the middle, 2 strikers. Really, that's how I imagine the traditional 3-5-2 of the. I say traditional 3-5-2, the 90s 3-5-2. Shall we talk about how Frank did at Everton? How long have we got? Yeah, exactly. He's not Rooney. He's not Gerrard. So now, does anyone have an idea what team to build? Well, a 3-5-2. How about? Oh, what about one of the? Is there a league you want to play in particular? Somewhere that you particularly enjoy managing in? Hanover's been suggested, a fabulous suggestion. Use perchance a brilliant, an even better suggestion from DM Bassist. Yeah, if there's like a particular league that or country that you like managing in, I'm sure there are some absolutely fantastic suggestions we could put your way. The big question is, would Tom Brady rate Frank's work out? I mean, I could see Tom Brady quite happily hiring Frank Lampard just so that he's got another scapegoat. So you booted it up, pressed it once, it told me to manage a team in the extra class. The AI is learning. I mean, that is, if ever that is typecasting you, DM Basis, for sure. Absolutely for sure. Sydney Osazua.
Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
Ba ba da ba ba ba
Turning
ba.
Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
Ba ba da ba 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 ba.
Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
Ba ba da ba ba ba
Turning
ba.
Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
Ba ba da ba 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 ba. There we go. We've turned it round. Thank God. Thank God for that. Yeah, the traditional 3-5-2 is a WM, not flat. No, I mean, as I said, Soul Wanderer, like what I think of as the traditional 3-5-2 that I would see a lot of in the 90s. So traditional was definitely the wrong word to use. So do you think a 5-3-2 could work as a tactic with a focus of recycling the ball into crossing scenarios? So I was having this thought in my head without really working through it properly the other day. No, I love the 3-5-2. It's a formation that I've got really fond memories of because of the association with the 90s there. But I don't think it's cut out for the modern game because of the lack of the support in wide areas. I think that it really struggles to get proper coverage, and then like the good balance overall. You can certainly do well in terms of holding possession, but I find that you are relying far too much on the wing backs to generate space for crossing purposes, especially, and the support out there. It's very hard to get your central midfielders or your strikers out supporting those wide areas to create overloads and overlaps, and so that can be really tricky. Keep going. A third goal would be very handy. DM Base is currently running a 4-1-2-2-1 narrow. It's proving interesting, if a lot frustrating. I can imagine. So Neshman, you like a team in a low tier in a top 5 country. How about, well, if you're using an updated database, someone like Bordeaux obviously have a great history and obviously got dropped down many divisions because of their financial situation. So that provides you with a nice story to it as well. I think maybe as well you've got potentially some of the original Premier League teams that have fallen by the wayside, as Nuama should make it 3-2, and then from the scramble Sampdoria get it clear. Like Oldham, I think could be a fantastic story as well. That there's lots of leagues to have to drive up to get right to the top. But again, a team who have some history. As Constantelios looks to equalise, fires it very wide in the end, very wide. A nickname would commit war crimes to have Heitinger replaced by Lampard. It's that bad, is it? Is it that bad? Oh dear. Zeratrul's got recommended Portugal and a 5-2-1-2. AI still needs to learn for you. Yeah, it'll get there eventually. Believe it or not, DM Basis has had saves go 20 plus seasons, but it's very rare. I mean, like, why force it? Why, like, if you get to a point in a save where you feel like you need to kind of reset and picks up and start again, like it seems weird to try and force playing a game if it's just not quite gelling anymore. If you've had your fun, like I'm 100% in favor of constantly starting over and over again in Poland. So what type of style of play works in a 3-5-2? Because you enjoy dominating possession, often use asymmetrical tactics and swapping positions. So I think that with a 3-5-2, you want to be looking to be very transitional, and you're going to want to be moving through the central areas as much as you possibly can for the reasons. But I think you can do quite a lot of different things with it. I would certainly be looking to see how you can get the 3 central midfielders dynamically getting up to support the front line, which I think could be quite fun. Are we going to get a penalty of our own? We are indeed. Arda Güler has been subbed off. So here we've got Paolo Bonato. He's just signed a new contract. And he makes it 3-1.
Take that away from me.
Right, we should surely feel safe now, and so we will bring on HJ Bockers. And their last change is going to be... Is it going to be Skamaka again? No, it's going to be Antipasta up front, through the middle as an advanced forward. Let's see if we can get another goal. Although we could concede right now. Here we go. Sampdoria with Konstantelios. Moves away from trouble. Plays it across. Now Alves out on the right-hand side. He's able to feed Ballet. Ballet across to Cabral. Cabral's created space. Jovan Cabral. And Atabolo gets down to the deflected shot. Turns it round the corner. Good lad. Right, Crodmo is in Led Zeppelin. You're in Rush. What's that? Are they a Rush tribute act? Akai with a great suggestion. Chemie Leipzig in Germany's 4th division. There's a fantastic blog thread over on the SI forums about Chemie Leipzig by Higher FM, which I strongly recommend giving a read to as well. Really enjoyed reading that one. Antipasta should have made it 4 there. Interviewer, what are you looking to bring? What are you bringing from your time in the Premier League working with Slot? A question being asked to Heitinger there. I think mainly just football. Insightful stuff. Insightful for sure. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Welcome in, Mad. How are you doing, sir? How's your weekend be? I see that Crodmo has done the honours with a shout out. Thank you very much, Crodmo. Yeah, how's everything going? Sherbs is back. Interwebs are back. Feels good. Good to have you back, my dude. So DM Basis, your issue is that you're not good with tactics school. So if your tactics starts to stop working, you're often completely stuck. You then have a temper tantrum, quit and start something else. In the older games where tactics were a bit more simple, or at least felt that way, saves in double figures were fairly more common. That's understandable, especially if you get deep into a save and you're attached to a team, and then the trying to figure out the tactics thing and it going wrong and the save going sour. It can be very, very difficult to then want to move on to another club or accept that, you know, a change of job may be coming as a result. So I get 100% how that can impact Connie. Right, anyway, I think we should pop on over and play a little round of Icons Bingo. Oh, wait a second. Before we do that, when's the next games? We're not moving forwards to that. We will go on over, we will do bingo, and when we come back on Tuesday evening for it, we will see whether Inter Milan can finally lose a game at some point. Right, so let's pop this on over here. In your chat, appearing just about now, should be a lovely little link to the bingo lobby. And I'm going to explain this in a few moments, so don't you worry if you're not familiar. The way this works is you head on over to that lovely link, gets you into this lovely little lobby here. When I click start, this very, very lime green button, every single player will get themselves a unique bingo card. That bingo card will have 16 squares with things like clubs, countries, competitions, awards. Then we all receive the same 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to decide whether they match one of the criteria on our bingo card. If they do, you click on that square. That locks it in. You can't undo your choice. You can't put another player in that slot. If you don't think they match or you're just not sure, you can let the 10 seconds run out or you can click skip. The goal is, by the end of it, to have 16 correctly filled squares. And that gets you bingo. Bingo, like Zerachul has managed to achieve twice this evening. So he is the man to beat this session. I'm going to give you guys about 90 more seconds to get yourself all set up and logged in there, and then we will go ahead and play the game. And I see we have a scared Zerachul in there. We have Blue Lions. Blue Lions, haven't you changed your name to Blue Lions second win? Because the last one was a win. We don't count Zeratul ruining it for you. Blue Lions, you are 100% right. The Mads podcast is fabulous. I don't think he went quite that far, but it is truly, truly wonderful. Is Xerxes still at Bologna? Can Phil Babb make another? I bet he will. I am almost certain he will. I feel like almost all of the icons seem to be the same list of players. So Sherbs went on holiday to Berlin because you heard the save. You can agree with that. That's fair. Once you're attached to the team, the game, well, from your perspective, switching feels a bit off. 100%. I'm used to be, well, I still am very much the same. It's only through streaming where I'm really forcing myself to go, hey, let's follow the narrative. Let's just do what feels right for the character and because you get into a save and you build up those. You want to see how certain players develop. Once you sign a player, you kind of want to see them through their whole career. I mean, even just selling players is difficult. Let alone thinking about leaving the club or having to deal with, the fallout that comes when things don't quite go the right way. Right, okay. I'm about to click start. So if you have your browser open and your game open in another browser tab, pop on over. It's a slight delay between me speaking and it being broadcast. So the countdown should already be underway. And we will start, let's say, with icons. Icons like Thomas Gravesen. I struggle to think of anybody more iconic than Thomas Gravesen, and it is one that I can play right off the top, which is very, very nice. So yeah, I mean, Roberto Ayala is, to be fair, a lot more. I'll stop talking. I will actually play these before they run out. So Mark Bosnich I can play with Ferguson. Obviously moves on a free transfer, and I haven't forgiven him. I will never ever forgive. No, I will, because after he's done all the less so pleasant stuff, it's quite easy to want to distance yourself from Mark Bosnich, bless him. But my God, I loved him when he was a Villa player. Being that age, this is just like that connection. My first Villa top was a Mark Bosnich one. It was like the green marbled one. Oh, lovely, with like a strong black collar. I wish I could still fit in it. 100% wish I could still fit in it. Right, Olivier Decour is we're going to let that one run through. We're going to see Maicon for Brazilian. Paulo Montero, I'm not sure of, so we'll give that a skip. Ramirez might have played with Lukaku at Chelsea. I don't know the timelines there. Or I don't know the timelines well enough there. Winston Bogarde wasn't part of the Ajax team when they won the Champions League. Maybe the UEFA Cup? Don't think so. Philip Koku, I don't think either, so we'll let that one. Andrei Arshavin, I'm giving that a skip. Alexander Kolarov. Kolarov was signed from, was he Lazio or Napoli? He was one of them. So we're playing it. Niall Quinn. That's going to be a skip for me. Did Jordi Cruyff do anything notable at Man United, like win the treble? Possibly. Diego Fusa. That were we can play him for Italian. That's okay. Mario Gomez. Not sure if he won the World Cup, so I'm going to let that one run. Julio Cesar. Going to let that go. Steve Malbronk. I've never said his name like that, but there we go. Stephen Manningham scored in that final for Real Madrid, so surely he won. Sure he won that. Quinton Fortune. Now, was he part of the treble winning side for Man United? I'm going to say yes. I'm probably going to regret it. Kleberson is going to be a skip. Kieran Richardson is going to be a skip. Anthony Reveille. Would he have been in the World Cup squad? I'm going for it. I'm going to regret it, but I'm going for it nonetheless. Iaccarini, we're going to skip that one there. Gary Cahill. I think he might have... I don't know enough about Luka. Lukaku's moved to and from Chelsea so many times that I don't feel confident with anyone. Teddy Sheringham, not sure there. Daniel Agger. The Alaves UEFA Cup win. Brian Laudrup. Guti. And Puskas played with Lukaku. Nigel de Jong. I feel like de Jong's a player that would have ended up at MLS at some point. Paolo Di Canio we skip past. Aquilani we skip past. Pep. Did he finish his career in the MLS? Thiago Motta at PSG. Ezekiel Lavezzi is Argentinian. Philippe Senderos we skip past. Bergkamp we do as well. Christian Fuchs, doesn't he just? Gonna skip past that. Carlo Cudicini. Gonna skip Artur Boruc, Aaron Lennon, Gianluigi Buffon. I know nothing about Christophe Jallet. Al Bravo. Di Stefano. Morientes. Romario. Dunga. Koeman has played for Porto, and Iker Casillas has played with Romelu Lukaku. So that's a pretty bad round for me there. It's a pretty good round, however, for Johnson, Draw, and Crodmo. Sensational work there. Sensational work with 15 out of 16. I'd love to know who MustermannFM is, because you are currently joint fourth with Blue Lions, DMB, FMGNG, TMS, and El Normi. So Cruyff didn't play in the... Jordi Cruyff didn't, I don't think so, no. Johnson's so close to your first Icons bingo, so close. DM base is 39 again, 2 wrong guesses, a third when you run out of players. Standard, isn't it? The running out of players is just the... You know those ones are going to be wrong. Surely one of those Italians played for both Milan and Juve, but unfortunately before my time. When it comes down to guesses, it's kind of all right, eh? How did Puskas not win the Ballon d'Or? Fucking rigged. I mean, it didn't exist at that time, did it? That's the problem. Fuchs would have been MLS, by the way. There we go. Oh, Soul Wonder made the Mario Götze mistake. Oh, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. Legends, Kieran Richardson. Kieran Richardson is most definitely a legend. Most definitely a legend. And Scared Zerachul comes in at 10th, which means he hasn't stolen any points off anyone. That's 5 points to Johnson, Draw, and Crodmo. That is then 2 points to Muster Baby, Blue Lions, DMB, FMGNG, TMS, and El Norby, all for coming joint fourth. Sensational stuff. And there is only one way that we can reward Zerachul for not winning the whole thing. But first, I need to say, YouTube, thank you very much for dropping by. It's been absolutely lovely seeing you. We will be back on Tuesday